Greetings everyone and welcome to a new video for the channel where today we're going to be checking out Auto Rogue, a delightful little game that has stolen quite a lot of my time because there is a degree of automation in it, hence the name Auto Rogue. Build on Steam as a roguelike, where you automate combat, combine skills and conditions to find your own optimal solutions, no complicated controls at all. Sit back, enjoy a coffee. Oh, well, this is off to a bad start. I will forgive it them because they've made an amazing game. Look, everyone makes a mistake at least once or twice in their life. The measure of a society is whether we allow them to make up for those mistakes. But they say, and watch the beautiful battles you crafted unfold. Utilize a variety of skills, conditions, and relics to craft the ultimate build. This is a bit of a broken build auto battler with a little bit more auto in it than usual. But as always, it is easier to show than it is to describe. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on into a normal game. I've got two characters. I don't know if there's plans to having more, but we'll start on a normal game, and then maybe if we have time, we'll bump up the difficulty. Maybe we'll even bump it up a bit more and check out other characters, so on and so forth. But without further ado, let's go for a bog standard start. This is the character you start with, and you have to unlock the other one. But we'll jump in on normal. Perfect for first-time players. Create your own auto battle strategy. Let's go. This will offer me an opportunity to really explain the mechanics as we go without having to be too sweaty about whether we get to the end or not. Okay, so at the very beginning, kind of reminiscent of Slay the Spire, we get to pick a starting item. We can go a relic, acquire a special condition, enemies on the first floor, their HP is decreased, or acquire 100 gold. All of these are kind of useful. Now, conditions, these are kind of your conditional statements, literally conditional statements in some cases, and sometimes they're added effects on a skill. The meat and bones of the game is your skills. You set them up in an order, and then your character will use them based on whether they meet certain conditional things, like is the enemy attacking? Has the enemy got a certain amount of HP? Has this skill been unused this turn? So on and so forth. But like many games in this genre, you also have relics, which can add extra effects, some of them passive, some of them synergize with skills, so on and so forth. I think we're going to open up with a relic. Okay, we can re-roll. Fossil, we can also see what they would upgrade to. There's only one level of upgrade as far as I'm aware. Shields plus sturdy. Start battle with 12 shields and 1 sturdy. Sturdy means it's your shielding is worth more shield points per use. Slime splitter, upgrade weak. At the beginning of the battle, apply 1 weak to an enemy, and then later on it applies 2. And weak effect is enhanced from 25% to 40%. That's actually quite a lot nicer once you can get that really upgraded. And then the red hood immediately burns. Enemy burn damage occurs at the beginning of their turn instead of at the end. Should we go for a bit of a burn build? Sure. Let's grab that and we'll try and define our build around it. Now, a bit of it comes down to RNG on what we're going to be offered. Now, what we can see here is first turn, the enemy is going to shield for 3. Second turn, enemy's going to attack for 5. It's got 27 health. The prediction is it would take over 10 turns. I would take 20 damage. And effectively, okay, so what might have not been clear at the beginning, it's really cute. We're on our little adventure. We're a scrappy youngling off on a whirlwind adventure while Mum is sleeping. Mum has woken up and is now furiously chasing after us. So in addition to not dying on our adventure, we've also got to try and complete the adventure before she catches up to us, because once she does, she's going to demolish whatever we're fighting and cart us off back home, probably with a lot of words in our ears about how irresponsible we were. But the longer you take in a battle, the closer Mum will get. So we want to finish the battles quickly, and if we finish them very quickly, we even gain ground. So that's the goal. Sorry, Mum, I'm putting you through a lot here, but I've got to learn this build character, I tell you. Right, so I'm going to set up my initial attack. I'm going to have Puff here, which gives me shield, and Headbutt, which does damage. Now, I want to put a condition in here. If my defense is lower than the intended attack power of the enemy, use shield. See, everything is strictly used in order. So without this, I'll never attack. I will use 2 energy each time. This refills back to full at the beginning of every new turn, but I'll just keep dumping it into this. It doesn't go in sequence, 1 and then 2. It tries to do 1, and if it can, it does it. And then it'll try to do 1 again. It goes down the order. So by adding this in, it'll only try to defend if there's something for me to defend against. And if I've already built up enough shield, it'll skip it and then just go down to headbutt. So at this point, I will win this in 2 turns, and I will actually gain a little bit of ground on Mum. So there we go. Sorry, Mum. Once again, I'm a scallywag. I'm causing to age far too quickly with all of this worry. But there we go. We built up a little bit of shielding because it was going to do 5 damage. Oh, I've got a delicious cup of tea beside me. Ah, my lord. Right, okay. I will accept these battle results. You never have to. You can keep trying until you win, or you decide that actually there's no way I can win. I'm just going to let myself lose. So we will accept this. But if, for example, you thought, actually, I saw a little flaw in my design, I could improve it and get a better score, you could just say no and try again. There we are. Now, we got no damage. We beat it basically. Well, okay, so it says we beat it in 1 turn, and this confused me for a little bit. Effectively, it's saying that I beat it before I took 3 turns. So it starts at, if you, it really should be reworded, but effectively, every qualifier, I took no damage, I beat it with it before 6 turns, I beat it before 5 turns, before 3 turns, I beat it in 1 turn, or rather after I'd taken 1 turn, which is the fastest you can possibly get it. That increases the rewards, it increases the rarity and the benefit of the rewards you're going to get. So you want to rack up as many of those modifiers as you can to get the best deal out of your chest. Now, okay then, so select our rewards. We've got Ignite over here. That will synergize. It'll have resonance with the red hood that we've already got. Good things happen when you align the skills or relics shown. So we've already got the red hood. If we have Ignite with that, it costs us 2 energy and it applies 4 burn. After the turn ends, the enemy takes a damage equal to the burn value. Then the burn value is reduced by 1. This is amazing. Blood Claw over here, also amazing. So deal 5 damage, recovers the amount of damage dealt to the enemy's HP. If we have a look at what they would upgrade to, they would do 8. The other one would do, Ignite would do 7. Deal 6 damage will deal 9 damage at the beginning of the next turn, recover a bit of energy, so that also gives us more energy to use. I'm really tempted between these two. I'm going to go for the Ignite because it's immediately going to synergize. But I would love to get the lifesteal option. Now, we've got Bellows as a synergy skill. So, type special, doubles the enemy's burn, but it has limit. It can only be used once during a battle. So we want to make sure that we use that when the enemy has got quite a lot of burn stack up. We can search inside the pot to get 60 gold, or I can hurry up. Mummy's like 17 turns away. We can afford it. And you know what? Sure, we'll do it again as well. Now we're down to 10. As long as we can perform well in the further battles, we'll be able to pull ahead. But we're going to go ahead and leave here. Right, we are on to fighting. It's going to take us 3 turns. We'll gain 1 bit of distance. The higher difficulties, this kind of threshold. So at 4 is par. At 4, we'll neither lose ground nor gain ground. At everything shorter than 4 turns, we gain ground. Anything longer than 4 turns, we lose ground. And the higher difficulties moves where that par is. Now, what you're going to do is attack for 7 damage, and then you're going to use weak for damage dealt is reduced by 25%. The debuff value is then reduced by 1 at the end of the turn. Does that affect? I wonder if that affects fire. Right, we're going to pop this in. Do I have a condition? Now, we start with a couple of conditions, but you have to buy the others. Do I have a condition that checks how much burn they have? Yes, we do. Okay. I would like to buy that. And enemy vulnerable. No. Do we have enemy HP as well? Enemy HP. Can I compare those? I don't think there's a way for me to compare how much HP they've got versus how much Ignite they've got. But we've definitely got that. So I'm going to add Bellows in as well. Now, we can add more skills, but after a while, I have to start buying extra skill slots, and that's going to be an important one. But we're going to want to pop enemy burn at least, right there. How much do we want to say? If the enemy's burn is at least, let's say, 10, okay, then we will trigger that. We can only do it once, but already that's now meaning that we're going to win this a little bit faster. Let me move that down there and just see if this does any fact. No, this does in fact increase the speed, but I could further adjust this. Let me change you, damn it. There we go. Let's see if that is just 5. Would that still give us better? No. So 10 it seems to be a magic number. We'll pop that in. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and see how this fight goes. So turn 1. I'm defending from the incoming fire, incoming attack, and I've stacked up a good bit of fire on them. And now what will happen is this will trigger because we were at, we've crested the 10. So there we go. Nice, fairly solid battle there. Mum is slowly slipping further and further behind us. Now, we can reroll if we really want to. I don't tend to reroll. I save them for like boss battles because I can reroll boss rewards for something very specific at that point. Heavy Rock at the start of the battle, gain 2 strength. I'm not sure that's really going to help us. Heavy Hammer at the start of turn 6, deal 25% of the enemy's maximum HP. I mean, that's already gambling on me not performing well in the battle. Harmonica, energy on odd turns. At the start of odd turns, gain 2 energy. At the start of even turns, lose 1 energy. Oh, but that upgraded becomes incredibly good. Right now, it just means we effectively kind of, we're evening out. But if we can upgrade that, then we actually start to gain. Upgrade skills or upgrade relics? Well, I immediately want to upgrade a relic. And if we have a look at the upgrade relics, I can increase burn by +2 every turn, but I want to go for the harmonica. Yes, I could push it a little bit further, but let's not be too too overconfident. Hubris is a slow and persistent killer of me, at the very least. Right, okay, with this, I'm fairly certain burn can go through this, but we're going to start seeing enemies with special conditions. So fortification here retains its shield at the end of the turn. We're already going to defeat you in 2 turns. I don't think we've got anything with us that would allow us to defeat you in 1 turn, and there's really no need to, since we're going to do fairly solidly here. That harmonica already doing some good help there. There we go. A little bit of extra damage. It's fine, and now it's all going to be just piling on the ignites up to 39 and pop. There we go. I will accept, indeed. Right, so that we've got a special chest here. No damage. Loads of power-ups to the chest. Okay, we've got a potion. A turn potion. Recover energy at current turn ×2 potion. Of current turn ×2, so the later you use it, the better. Strength potion, gain 4 strength, or warp potion. If Mamita is +1, increases the distance between us and Mum. If turn is 5 or more, gain 1 again. That one might be good for a battle where I can't do it quickly, but it'll be useful even if I just use it up whenever. So I like that one. All right, so we've got a condition reward box here. We can get Cost Bomb. When this skill is activated, deal damage equal to its original energy cost ×2, plus its original magic power cost. Okay, that is quite powerful, especially if you use it on a skill where you've artificially reduced its energy cost, because it's the original energy cost. So you could still pay very little for it while still doing a lot of damage. +3 energy cost becomes a limit skill. Deals 20 damage. Permanently gains 20 damage on enemy kill. This could build very powerfully over time. The energy cost of this skill increases by 1. The damage dealt pierces the shield. I think we take Harvest and we maybe try to build into that. We're always going to take elites. Look, I die more often than I don't when I go down there. I'm always going to hunt like elite battles, but I have more fun doing it. Elite battles, as well as boss battles, usually have a bit of an interesting condition, and you might have to think outside the box, but if you're struggling, there's always a hint there. So, Spike. When attacked, return damage equal to the value of spikes. Well, as long as I'm not directly doing damage to you, I guess that's okay. But all right, let's see what we can do. I would like to start maybe leveling up Headbutt. We're going to slide Headbutt up here, and I'm going to add... this becomes a very expensive skill, but I'm going to add that in there. Now, I need to make sure... This is going to do 20, so 25. I need to make sure that I only use this when the enemy's HP is at most 25. So I will use this to kill the enemy. Now, unfortunately, I can't fit in other checks. You sort of can. I'll very quickly demonstrate how, but I'm not going to be able to do it in this instance. But you can stagger them. Right now, Headbutt will only trigger if Puff has triggered. Puff will trigger, it'll use up its energy, and then it'll check if it can do Headbutt as well. This way you can kind of nest, and you can keep nesting them if you want. You can nest them quite deep. As a consequence, that can result in you being able to ensure certain conditions are already met by a preceding action. In this case, I'm going to say it's got 2 spikes. How about I'm going to pay 25 gold to buy a new skill. I'm going to add in puff. We're going to slide that up there. Is it a condition that says it's got spikes? Let's have a look. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, that's fine. Let's move that across. Unique, by the way, means that this can only exist once in your entire battle plan. So if one skill has it, no other skill is allowed to have it. I'm going to say I will always use this once. I want to buy this as well, because I only want to... Oh, actually, if I do that, then this won't trigger. So yeah, I'm basically guaranteeing now I'm always going to trigger a shield once. Now, that isn't exactly the most useful. I agree. But it does mean that when I use this, I won't take unnecessary damage from spikes. Is it really important for me to care about when I've got 40 health? Questionable, but we will see. We will have a watch. Right, let's go ahead. Now this triggers at the start of the turn, so there's every probability I still don't actually kill them with this, unfortunately, unless maybe I take that out. No, I think I actually still prefer having bellows in there. We will see how this goes. So I want to go and grab the burn, pop that in, and we'll say at least 10. There we go. We're still getting it at 2, which is amazing. Whether or not I'm getting to level up headbutt. Right, let's see how this goes. Stacking that up, not taking any damage from this, thanks to the fact that I'm attacking with burn. And am I going to get that to trigger? Come on. No, unfortunately I did not. I didn't manage to pull that off. Oh well, that's not too bad. I didn't lose any health, which is the main thing. Right, there we go. Still get one of the best returns. Okay, so tidying up. This type is perma. Gain 10 shield and sturdy at the end of each turn. Shield gained is increased by the value of sturdy, so 10 shield and sturdy at the end of each turn. So sturdy would continue to level up. That's actually very nice. It costs 4 energy, but it's a pretty whomping amount of shield. And I could possibly do it with both of those sharing. Gain 10 shield, but the enemy also gains 10 shield. Or assault, deal 9 damage and apply 2 vulnerable. What's the upgrade there? It goes down to energy 2. We're going to take tidying up, I think. And we got an extra drop. Let's have a look at what we get here. From the Elite Battle. Ooh, okay. So, got a couple of options. Kunai. Every 4 times you deal damage, deal an additional 5 damage. Heavy Hammer. Or the Magic Key. When this relic is upgraded, gain an additional +2. So Magic Key will give me a bunch of rerolls, but it will also unlock the ability for me to open a chest. I like having that option later on. Right, okay, so I don't need to add anything there. I'm already fully healed. What would I like to do? I could upgrade that, but I don't really see too much reason to. Let's have a look at my potential upgrades on skills. I could upgrade Bellows, triple the enemy's burn, which is amazing. Apply more burn. Headbutt does more damage. But really, Headbutt's whole damage is meant to be coming from Harvest, so I don't think upgrading Headbutt is really where it's at. And I don't think I'm going to be using... I think Tidy Up. Yeah, we're going to upgrade Tidying Up, so it's now the equivalent of Puff. Right, okay, so let's have a look here. You're going to do 1 damage 4 times. You're going to gain strength on the following turn, and transformation. When HP drops below 50%, the monster transforms over the course of 1 turn, gaining strength equal to the transformation value. Okay, and fragile body. While transformed, for that turn only, damage taken is doubled. Noted. Okay, right now we would complete this in 6 turns. I could add this in to nullify that a bit, but let's try and move things around a little bit. Let's get rid of Puff. I'm going to change you out for Tidying Up, and I'm going to remove this. Don't need that. Always, well, actually, that gets used once and once only. Once that is triggered, it never has to trigger again. At least I am fairly certain of that. Yeah, it's limit. Once per battle. But it's a permanent effect. And so I'm always going to have 10 shield. What I would say then is, sure, add a little bit of extra shield. Because that is at the end of the turn. Add a little bit of extra shield once and see if I can headbutt. Bellows, sure, more or less exactly the same. I could add in... Sure, for 40 gold, I will add in the warp potion. I'm going to slide that on up. I'm going to say, if the turn... Let's find the turn. There should be one turn. There is... Let's have a look. Is at least 5 or over. Use the warp potion. There we go. That means that we're actually going to gain a little bit of distance. Okay. Even though I'm not able to complete this very quickly, we're still getting the benefit from it. And I'm still taking no damage. So I'm very happy with that indeed. All right, let's have a look. Tidying up is active. Got a little bit of a buff, but there was no use for harvest yet. Right, we're going to stack an awful lot of damage here. Right, there we go. We've now got sturdy and tidy up, and that sturdy is just going to increase over time, which is going to make us very, very powerful. And stacking all of this ignite is marvelous. There we go. A lot of damage coming our way, mind you. And we're about to drop them below 50% health, which kind of sucks. Honestly, I'm starting to feel that I'm not going to get harvest to work. I suspect they're going to die from the burn, frankly. So that's just the way that one's going to go, sadly. But oh well. And there we go. Wallop load of damage, and we get a little bit of distance on Mum. Right, there we go. Right, let's see what we've got. Boss battle, no damage. Took 5 turns, so we didn't get the final upgrade. Warrior Tremble. If the enemy is planning to attack, gain 6 strength. Okay. I mean, that's not too bad. And that would combine with this and give us a turn start. If an enemy intends to attack, gain 5 temporarily strength or temporary strength. You can probably already tell that the localization, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but the game is entirely playable. I have no trouble with it at the very least. Overcharge. Special. Increase maximum energy by 2 during this battle. Rest. This skill can only be used once per turn, but you can keep using it. Then down here, recovers 2 energy, reduces maximum energy by 2. Rest. I think we actually take overcharge. Overcharge is huge. And we get another one as well. And right, let's have a look here. Bookworm. The maximum energy is increased by 2, but the number of reward options is increased by 1. We increase that further. Upgraded battle rewards are presented. Very nice. Sticky crown. Damage taken is increased by the same multiplier as damage reduction. No attack skill. Broken sword. If no skill of type attack exists in the plan, gain 4 energy at the start of your turn. Oh. I don't know if that considers itself an attack. No perma skills, gain 2 additional edge. No, I think we're going to go with Bookworm. Does that consider itself an attack? I'll have to have a look at that. No, it's type special. I could have done it then. My bad. Right, okay. So, Crystal. When the owner of this effect loses 10% of the HP, restore 1 energy to the player. So every 10% of damage I do, I gain 1 energy, I guess. Right, we're going to pop in Overcharge. Overcharge is going to sit right up here at the top. Always use it every battle, as this will increase my maximum energy. My maximum energy is the thing that gets restored at the end of the fight. Do we have anything else particularly super useful? I'm not sure that we do. Again, this is always going to make it difficult. Like a burn build makes it very hard, especially one that applies its damage early, to ever get this to trigger. And strictly speaking, I only needed that there initially in order to get through, get past the spice. I should have taken that away a little while ago, actually. My bad on that one. Okay, we'll leave that one in there, allow it to start building up. Maybe it'll do something, maybe it won't. We're going to lose a little bit of ground. We're going to take 2 damage, the first damage that we've taken. I guess if I have that in there, how much was I losing if I had Puff in there? And I told it to be used only once. I lose no damage, but I guess it doesn't actually make any difference. whether it's 5 or not. So sure. Okay, we'll leave her in there. It's not actually changing anything. Right, okay, let's go. We'll get just a little bit of extra protection. Okay. And I'm dedicating 2 energy every turn to increasing my overall energy supply constantly, which in my opinion is quite a worthwhile one to go for. Oh, actually, you know what? Considering we're seeing an enemy with such enormous amounts of HP, let's go for something a little bit more chunky. That change things? It would change things. If I take that away, would it change even more? Not in a great way. Let's just say something like this. Okay, we're now beating in 3 turns. That's getting a bit better, actually. How about we go all the way for 75? Would that change anything? No, the 60 point is the break-even point. Okay, I'm all right with that. We'll take a little bit of damage, but again, I guess we don't really need to. Let's pop that in and slide that up here. There we go. There we go. All right, that's not too bad. No damage, no lost progress. That works for me. But yeah, the tidying up is amazing. Now, I would very much like to find what relic that merges with. So it's the fossil we're going to need to find for that one. Likewise, I would very much like to grab this one at the end of the turn, multiply remaining energy by 1.5 and carry it over to the next turn, which would be absolutely amazing. Right. Let's see how much damage we can queue up here. We're getting a lot of charge available to us. You can speed things up, by the way, as well, if you don't need to watch through every battle. I tend to, at least here I am, so that it's easy enough to follow along with what's happening. There we are. Not too bad. I will go ahead and accept that. But at this point, I feel that you understand the basic game mechanics. Now, gold is always good. Gain 60 gold. If your gold is 150 or more, gain 150 instead. Yes, please. We'll use that one straight away. Don't even need to look at the others. Right. Okay, select reward. Overuse. This skill's energy cost increased by 1, and short rest is applied, but rest is removed. We could put that there, and I could use it 5 times in the first turn. Every 10 uses of this skill, gain 4 energy. Okay. Those 2 together would be ridiculous. Obsidian Shield. This skill's energy cost is increased by 2, but you gain shield equal to the damage dealt by this skill. Problem is, I'm not sure how that would interact with something that deals damage passively. When the skill is activated, deal damage equal to its original energy cost times 2, plus its original MP cost. No, we're going to grab Overuse. I think that's the obvious play there. It looks like she can upgrade your items. Wow. Can I upgrade a potion? No, I can't upgrade a potion. That makes me very sad, I will confess. Super, super sad. What about the relics? If we upgrade this, upgraded battle rewards are present. Magic key, we'll get more rerolls. Increased burn by +2. We'll go with this one. Yes. That's going to cost a lot more. This is why you want a lot of money. Upgrade. Triple the enemy's burn. Now it would cost me 100. Do I want to go for 100? I mean, that is going to stack stupidly fast. This would also be quite useful. But I think going for overcharge, because that's going to allow me to do a lot more damage a lot faster. And I'm still going to be able to build my cash back up with the use of the gold potion as the first thing that I do in this upcoming battle. Oh, it was going to be. Okay, 0 damage. You're going to do a decent amount. Growing scales. Each time damage is taken, gain a shield equal to the value of growing scales. And the shield gained increases by 1 until the end of the turn. Immunity. When a debuff is applied, nullify it and decrease the value of immunity by 1. Okay, so I think these would definitely going to count as that. I'm going to go ahead and remove Puff. There we go. Doesn't matter now to have that. Let's go ahead and use that straight away. I'm going to take a little bit of damage, but I'm willing to take that. In terms of the skills, let's go ahead and pop Overuse here. I'm probably going to take a little bit more. No, I'm not. Okay, so I'm basically going to just dump my energy into this initially. And the first couple of turns are going to be like this, but I'm going to keep building up my shield. So the first turn, I'm going to take a bit of damage. The second turn, I won't. but I'll increase sturdy. The third turn, whatever's coming, I will still have this shield by the end of it. So I'm not too dissatisfied with this one overall, and we'll still have a lot of gold. Okay, I'm willing to take 4 damage for that. It's not terrible. There we go. Crazy amounts of gold. Back up over 300, which is glorious. There we go. Look at our energy stacking. Okay, that's kind of ridiculous, actually. You know what, though? I just noticed it's overall HP. We don't need to wait for this. We don't need to wait for that at all. 15 would be enough. Still 3 turns. Could I get this a bit better, or does it go up at all? What about 5? No, it doesn't work there. Well, 20 is already going to be too much. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting this any better. So I'll just pop her on 15. There we are. There's no... Since this is going to triple it, I don't need that much. It hasn't got enough health to survive through it. But there we go. We'll get through this fight now. Sorry for that sudden change. I'd forgotten that we're no longer fighting something with an enormous pool of health. There we go. We've got an enormous pool of energy, though, which I'm very, very happy to see. Ah, the problem with building up the fire there is the real issue. Okay, fair enough. Okay, just constant. Okay, this is disgusting. I'm so sorry. Actually, no, I'm not. That's a lie. We took 4 damage, but I'll accept it. Got it in 3 turns. Right. Okay. Select rewards. I could gain 60 gold. Flame shield. Burn half the shield. Gain shield equal to the enemy's burn value. Wow. Okay. Now that could be bonkers. When the enemy has shield, deal 20 damage and gain 1 shield and 1 sturdy. Look out. If the enemy is planning to attack, apply 3 vulnerable. I think we take Flame Shield. This is upgraded, by the way. That shows that it's an upgraded skill. Or I could go ahead and roll for other options, but I think Flame Shield is where it's at. Yeah, we'll take Flame Shield. That may come in super, super important for us. Right, we're at the shop. We can spend 70 gold to upgrade our relics. Do I want to? Not sure. Most of the skills that I'm using are upgraded. I wouldn't mind upgrading this one, though. We've got the Fossil for 90. Okay, if the damage taken is less than or equal to your shield, the damage is nullified. Yes, buy. There we are. Go. All gold gained will be 1.5 times more. I mean, that's pretty solid. Let's have a look. Double tap. The energy cost is doubled, but the skill activates twice. Now, this one, combined with our... Oh, that would actually work with our scythe. I think we're going to grab that one. Yeah. Okay, we can also re-roll if I really want to. But let's have a look at this. I would like to see what that does. And reflected. Okay, that's kind of disgusting. Yes. Yeah, I accept. Do I want to upgrade a skill? I'm not actually sure that I do. I think if I'm going to spend anything, I would want to upgrade this. Let's go ahead and start battle with 18 shield and 2 sturdy. Just really double down on our shield. Okay, we're starting to get a stupid build now. Right, heal the damage dealt to HP, directly to HP. Okay, fair enough. But I'm going to want to find a time. All right, I'm going to remove this. And I'm going to use double tap. That is not always going to be the best thing to do. As it is. I need an attack that does a lot of damage. Just in one go. I just don't have one. Because this would activate the harvest twice. So potentially this now does 40. It costs 10, but it does 50 damage. I'm going to pop this one down here because it's of no use to this battle. I need enemies with lower amounts of damage that I can basically drop that on. Now, burn half the shield, gain shield equal to the enemy's burn value, and then you rest. You can only do this once a turn. I see almost no reason not to do this every single turn. There we go. Because I'm always going to have shield. I'm perpetually going to be building up shield, and just doing this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm constantly going to be gaining shield off the back of it. Now, if I could use overuse on this, that could become stupid. Because if I'm using that multiple times and I'm constantly gaining more shield, then burning half of it, adding more burn, you know what? Let's see how stupid that gets. All right, remove that one and pop it over here. Yeah, okay. I am not surprised. Not actually surprised. We'll pop that. Well, actually, do I even need to? No, I don't. I really don't. We'll pop that there. No, we won't actually. Okay, fair enough. Let's see how this silly little fight is going to go. So, first turn. I've already got a decent amount of shield. Bomp. Bomp. Okay, I'll never take damage. I refuse to be harmed. You, on the other hand, will die. I basically didn't fight. This would be when we'd want something that has if you don't have an attack in your plan. Okay, pretty solid. One turn. Twisted Heart. You can heal beyond your max HP. Excess HP is removed after battle. I mean, that is quite nice. When using a skill for the first time in battle, recover 3 energy. Possible. That one has to be built with something that heals me, which is a problem because I don't have anything that heals me. But spare batteries would be quite nice. Sure. We'll just tuck that away. Of course, we're going to go for an elite battle. All right. Okay, so sleep. Remains asleep and does not act until damage is taken. Upon taking damage, it takes 1 turn to remove sleep. There's a lot of damage, you might notice. Do I want to slide that up over there? Not really, because it wouldn't work. What I could do... How many turns would this be otherwise? It would be 3 turns, otherwise I'd take no damage. 4 turns, I'm actually still okay with that, but what I can do here is embed this and tell this to only trigger once a turn. Well, it's actually always going to trigger once a turn, which means that will always be checked. And I will have energy for it as well. But that, then again, that will be an issue there. Okay, so I will show you another thing that we can do here. I don't actually need these anymore. Remove, like I do all my damage with the shields now. So we're going to add overcharge in twice. And the first overcharge is only going to trigger if the enemy's health is below the amount that I need. Is at most 50. That can trigger. So generally that's not going to trigger the first time through. But if it hasn't already triggered, then it gets a second chance. Note that these do share the same like conditions and limits. So the fact that this has rest, if this triggers here, it couldn't trigger here. If it triggers here, it can no longer trigger there. So on and so forth. But let's just see how this goes. I really would love to see this actually beef up. There we go. Some massive amounts of shielding there. Hello, Sleepy Snail. There we go. Staggering amounts of burn building up. Now let's have a quick gander at exactly how much damage we can do. Okay, you're just going to die. Never mind. I was really hoping that this would trigger, but I still keep trying to make it work. I think I just need to find an attack that's going to be useful for it. Deal 50 damage. I mean, maybe. Consecutive potion, deal... You know what? We will take this, and I might actually build that into Harvest instead. Right. If the depth of this skill is 3 or higher, reduce energy cost by 2. And that's unique. Pierce, period, optimization. If the skill's energy cost is 4 or more, reduce energy cost by 1. I don't think there's really anything that needs... Well, I could put it there. So that becomes a 3. Sure. Okay, I'll take that. Right, what do we got now? We've got gain 3 strength, rest. Lots of interesting ones here. Start of the next turn, recover 3 energy, rest. Oh, I mean, that's not too bad. They're all actually upgraded anyway. Deal 7 damage, apply 2 weak, gain 3 strength, rest. Let's reroll. Oh, there we go. Unstable battery. Recovers 2 energy, reduces maximum energy by 1, but at the end of the turn, multiply remaining energy by 1.5 and carry it over to the next turn. I think we go for this. For that alone. There we go. Perfect. Now that's a relic, so I don't need to do anything more with it. Do we have any relics we would like to upgrade? Buy 2 and carry it over. That's actually really nice. That is shockingly good. Or a skill. I mean, is it time for me to increase the basic? But no, we're basically not using them anymore. So I don't think that would actually help. Okay, well, we'll increase the amount of energy we've got at the end. There we go. Hello, Crystal. This is a lovely tune. My lord. Right, so let's have a look. Fortification, retain shield at the end of the turn. When the buff holder loses shield from sources other than their own effects, gain shield equal to this buff. Okay. Times 50, so 100. When attacking the buff holder, deals damage equal to their shield, then loses all their shield. We'll take no damage in this, and that is kind of impressive, really. Okay, remove that first. And I want to switch that out. So now this is 50, 100, 140 damage. So let's change this to 140. That should trigger that to at least activate once, but I'll get quite a lot of damage out of this. Okay, I guess we begin. Let's see how this goes. Right, so spare batteries instantly activates. Already 100. And it doesn't matter how much you've got at this point. Oh my lord, this is disgusting. Right, the burn is going to be enough to punch. Oh, I wasn't able to get through its shield there. That's a shame. But it's got a rather large amount of fire damage built up. Yeah. Okay, let's go on to the next area. Now we've lost the shield, sadly. Sorry, the attack potion. Right, black magic there. Modified flame bullet. Add burn 6 times 3 and then rest. If burn is 50 or more, cancel the skill's rest. So it can just keep being used. 3 energy, mind you. Emergency defense, gain 60 shield, limited once. That would be a good starter. Possibly. I like the flame bullet though. Not that I think we're necessarily going to be using it, but we'll see. Benchmark -1, but max energy +4. So that means I would need to finish it in 2 or less turns. Prism. I mean, that wouldn't be a terrible one. Benchmark -2, but max energy much higher. We're getting close to there are only 3 acts, so I'm going to use a bit of meta knowledge and say that that is useful, because even if I lose ground on every single battle coming up, I'm still going to win with the amount of, unless we have a terrible loss, but still. Right, so I could use this. I'm already going to win in 2 turns, so I kind of don't see the point. But could this potentially be built into harvest? Also, I should have put that down there. Again, I would need this to be somewhere in there. But Flame Bullet is still a special. It's not an attack skill. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to use Harvest, honestly. And there's very little reason to push for that as a consequence. So let's just... Oh, I've already got overuse on there. You know what? This is fine. Unless... I mean, I could tuck that into something, but there's not really much point. No, I think this should be good. That being said, energy cost is doubled, but the skill activates twice. So I'd get 2 effects of Tidy Up. Ooh, that would be very potent. shockingly potent, actually. Sure. If I tuck that in there as well. Just apply a little bit of extra damage. It doesn't really matter. But you know what? Sure. Let's see how silly that skill actually works. So I'm going to do a bit of... No, it didn't actually cause any damage. It deals 20 damage, opponent gains 20. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, having all of that there is bonkers. I didn't even look at your abilities. That's how confident I am. Overconfident, one might say. They'd be right. 2,000 shield? I don't even. Twisted Heart. Showing up again. Emberstone. Enemies with at least one stack of burn take 1.2 times more damage from all souls. I am a bad Aavak and I feel bad. Right, the energy cost increases by 3, but the damage dealt by this skill applies burn. That's not what we're looking for. Eagerness. No, don't need strength. Lovely apple. After defeating enemy, heal 6 HP. Ooh. That would synergize with the headbutt that we've got. Sure, apple pie. If man-meter is 4 or less after a battle, increase it by 1. That's actually kind of cool. Sure, I'll take it. It's on sale. I will also go ahead and upgrade a couple of things. I'm not going to need to upgrade that. Don't really need to upgrade this, honestly. But, I mean, you know, as it stands, it's already quite good. Add 2 burn at the start of battle. Let's upgrade the lantern. I will then upgrade... Never saw a magic chest. I'm so sad. Sure. Upgrade the Emberstone. That seems like the sensible one to go for. Alright. Let's move on. Hello. You... Oh, Chimera. I was like, you're a very interesting coloured cat. A shapeshift. Each time damage is taken, change the action schedule. Or rather advance it by 1. Ah, okay. So different parts of your body will attack each time. I'm actually going to heal damage from this. This is... I love it. Now let's go. This is truly a broken build. I'm going to defeat our enemies by being the cliff they crash against. A flaming cliff. A fire cliff. They're running head first into a fire cliff over and over again. Why do they keep hurting themselves? I just don't understand. The enemies are suiciding themselves upon my impenetrable defense. Immunity potion. Completely redundant. Energy potion. Yeah, sure. I'll pick up an energy potion. Why not? I could have re-rolled, of course, but... fire enchant. The energy cost increases by... No, don't need it. Depth 3. If depth 3, reduce energy cost. Pierce. Obtain shield. The skill's energy cost is increased by 2, but you gain shield equal to the damage dealt with the skill. None of those are attractive to me. Rational. The energy cost increases by 1, but if the energy becomes 0 from this skill, recover 4 energy at the start of the next turn. Energy consumed of this skill is reduced by 2. After using this skill, this turn will end. No, none of those look good. Lose 6 HP, but reduce the energy cost by 1. Vampirism. The energy cost increases by 2, but heals the damage dealt directly to HP. Well, that, again, wouldn't really work for me. Skill becomes limit, but the energy cost becomes 0. Limit, again, is once per battle. Well, no, there's nothing really jumping out at me here. I must be honest with you. I'm going to roll once more and see what... Oh, actually, you know, after 10 use of the skill, gain 4 energy. You know what? That's absolutely fine. I will take it. Pop. I think even popping that down here would be good. Go to pop that in there. Is there anywhere else I want to put something? You know, we're going to remove that one. Add that in there. Okay. It's not the best setup, but I use this a lot. So I may as well build it like that. Energy potion. We'll just pop that in here. We'll use it once I've used that once. Right, let's have a look. Okay, 4 times 5 attack damage. Whenever the player uses an attack or summon skill, gain temporary strength equal to the number of mirrors. I don't use attack or summon skills. When a debuff is applied, apply the same debuff to the enemy. Then decrease the value of this buff by 1. Oh, well, that's a little bit of a problem. But I will get shield, so My fire attacks only affect... it's only the enemy that gets the burn damage at the start of the turn, not me. I get my burn damage at the end of the turn when my shield is up, thanks to them having all of the burn damage. So many things triggering this, so many different effects. It's glorious. Okay, they've got 2,450. Wow. Lots of burn. That was a very on-fire mirror. Kind of metal when you think about it, though. Right. Finally, the Blood Claw showed up. Deal damage, recover the amount of HP delta, damage dealt to the enemy. That would have been great to have been leveling up with the scythe. I'll take it because it's there. Thermal plant, energy from burn. Gain energy equal to 5% of the enemy's burn at the start. Where was that the whole time? Oh my lord. 10% of it, maybe. Sure, let's go with that. This is already such a ridiculous build. Alright, we're fighting against a dragon. Mum is so far away, she's completely lost now. She doesn't know which direction we've gone. I've been running, I had my brothers and sisters running around with little my foot-shaped sandals, making a confusing trail for her to follow. Right. Wrath. Damage dealt and damage taken are doubled. Each time damage taken exceeds a multiple of 100, gain Wrath. If Wrath is already present, remove it. So basically, I just need to keep doing lots of damage quickly to get you out of Wrath. I need several multiples of 100, but I don't think you're going to be able to beat me. This also agrees. Let's see how this goes. Right, so double shield straight out the gate. And get a couple of energy applications. There we go, we're already at 200 there. Absolutely staggering amounts. And go to, of course, is going to give us more energy at the end. That's just ridiculous. I've not beaten the game quite so absolutely before. I still haven't fought this boss. I'm not sure if I need to do that on the higher like prestige levels or something, but possibly. Or there might be a secret area unlocked. But we had a perfect fight all the way through. Perfection. Oh, actually, no. We did take damage once in the entire run, and that was CU. But other than that, every battle we exited with perfect health. Not too bad. 23 turns. Honestly, not bad at all. All things said and done, I'm quite happy with that. Now, looking at the time, I don't think we actually have as much time as I was hoping we would have to jump into another run. But if you have gotten this far and you've decided you enjoyed what you saw and you'd like to see more, then well, let me know down in the comments below or by massaging those lovely buttons. And maybe, just maybe, we will try out with the mage build. Now, just a forward, they play completely differently. Whereas the default character is more about like direct damage, shielding, you know, fire damage, as you saw. The mage character has got entirely new mechanics, entirely new resources to use, like research and such and stuff like that. And we might be able to get into that. If we were to play with the mage, I'd probably bump the difficulty up a little bit. Maybe going on through normal was perhaps unnecessary, considering how much of the game I have already played. But I hope that afforded us the opportunity to really get into the mechanics and it was all very clear to you. But that is going to be it from me. I hope you have enjoyed and I hope to see you in the next. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.